Right. Good morning, everyone. Good day. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. You are here with myself, Angelina, and Edith with Peak Home Care Associates. And we are here with you for our Peak Wellness Hour. And we are super glad to be here with you. Okay. Hopefully, your Saturday is starting off well. Your weekend is starting off well. Your day is starting off well. I know we're here in Indiana. It's supposed to be a pretty nice day out. So make sure you all get out and enjoy the day after you spend some time with us, right? Um, so I'm going to tell you what the conversation is. I'm going to let Queen E the chit chat for just a second, just to say hello too, so we just don't dive into without being, personable. Okay. So today we are going to we're going to finish and continue the conversation. I'll say continue because we had so much meat in the last conversation.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can get through all of it today. So, last week we were speaking about understanding the benefits of
Mm.
home care, which is what we do with Peak Home Care Associates here in um, the Midwest surrounding area of Indiana. So we've been touching on that. We're going to continue to touch on that. And last week, we dove pretty deep into looking at companionship, which I thought was an awesome conversation. We want to thank you all for tuning in last week and liking and sharing. That means so much to us. And because we didn't get to dive into things like respite and live in care and 24-hour care, and just really allowing you all to understand all the benefits of home care, we're going to take our time and we're going to do that today. But before we do, like I said, I want Queen Edith to say hello to you all before we get started this conversation.
Happy Saturday. It's November. It's the holiday season, getting ready to pick up. And this is the best season of the year for many. But for a few others, it can be the loneliest. It's a pleasure to come your way once again. I didn't mean to say all that about November, but I had to say it, I guess. I hope your week has been great. I pray that our videos are helping you some way, somehow. And because we want to be here and we want to know that we are making a difference with the things we share. So, once again, we are back in your homes. And I don't know what you're doing, having a cup of tea, having a cup of coffee, sitting down, reading a book, reading your newspaper, taking it easy. It's Saturday morning. We rush Monday through Friday, but hopefully you're taking it easy with us. I don't have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. I would say cheers to you, but all the way, cheers. So
Cheers.
that's right. And um, we want to continue to bring you something valuable. Someone told me, actually, a client told me that she didn't even know people like us exist. Some families may know about home care, but many don't know exactly what this is all about. Sometimes your expectation is not exactly what it is. It is more or it could be less. But either way, it is what you need. It is what you need. If you identify that need, then we can come in and fill it and play the role. And so today we continue to discuss some of the things we brought to you last week. Queen, I'm sure you're going to give us a little recap and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
So we did touch, it was so much. We did speak on, again, we dove into companionship, right? And the importance of um, having that and not undermining the relevance of a simple companion. And that was referring to individuals still able bodied, still able to perform their activities of daily living pretty well on their own, but just need that companion, plain and simple. So we looked at that. We talked about, and I know I touched on, kind of wanted to make sure it was clear to everyone that home care is something that can be utilized whether a senior is living in a home alone or if they are in living with a loved one or in a facility. The services that we provide, that home care provides, does allow for us to be in those places outside of someone's home. So that's pretty much what we touched on. Just breaking it down, of course, we talked about depression. So when Queen Edith mentions November, last week we did talk about seasonal depression and dealing with that and how companionship can be vital, especially around this time of the year. So yes, that's pretty much what we covered last week. We hope if you did not see that broadcast, you can certainly go look at it. Um, we have all been very, very busy, but I am going to make a point to put, I think, the last 3 Saturdays that we've come to you. I don't believe those are on the website. So I will quickly get those on there this weekend. But until then, you can find them on Facebook under Peak Home Care Associates. And of course, under Queen Edith's page, you can find them on YouTube on Peak Home Care Associates. And we did that with YouTube. So, really quickly before we dive into this conversation, um, we did that on YouTube because everyone does not care to get on Facebook sometimes. Facebook can be for a certain demographic of people sometimes. And we do want to make sure that we're reaching the right people. And that's why we do ask you to like and share on multiple platforms, and then also subscribe so you can keep up with us. Doing so on YouTube, so especially if you're listening on Facebook, if you go to YouTube, and do that for us, it will help the algorithm because we have a lot um, more mature you have a more mature audience, broader audience over on YouTube looking for information,
Right.
okay, and not just surfing the web like on Facebook, with all due respect to Facebook. But we want to make sure we draw some attention there so that we can make sure we're reaching our senior population and the ones that are giving them care. So if you could do that, that would be so awesome. It would be so, so appreciative. We really, really appreciate it because we do work hard at what we do. Um, not just in the field, we work hard bringing you these messages, and we want to empower you. We want to empower as many people as we can. So without further ado, we're going to finish this conversation. And I don't know, Queen, what do you think? Like I said, last week we touched on companionship, but I know you mentioned you had a whole list. So I want to see what that list looks like. I know you had respite on there, which I was excited to touch last week. We had, what do we have? The live-in care versus 24-hour care. All kinds of things we can talk about when we're wanting to help you all understand the benefits of home care. So I don't know. Tell me what you think. Where you want to
Yes, you are absolutely right. The key is for us to bring insight to home care because we realize that once again the word is thrown out there. Oh, get home care, but people don't really know exactly what that entails. At least some people don't. So our goal is to break it down, what it entails. And last week we touched a lot on companionship. One of the aspects of home care is companionship. We come to keep your adults, your senior adults company. They don't have to have dementia. They may be living alone in their homes. Sometimes they don't live alone. They live with family who may be at work during the daytime and they find themselves alone at home with a pet, or fending for themselves. They don't have to have medical issues, inability to walk or even bathe themselves. They don't have to be that way before they get a companionship. Sometimes we come and keep them company. We do things that they love or they used to love. The challenges of old age can be lack of sight, inability to see well, not total blindness, but inability to see well and to read well. And the holiday season, they're trying to write cards, Christmas cards, holiday cards, thank you cards for people who've been good to them throughout the year. And they may have arthritis in their hands, or they just can't write like they used to write. And they want to do these things themselves. They don't want the children to do everything for them. So, how about a companion writing the envelopes? Then they will try and write inside the cards. So when family sees this is grandma's handwriting, it leaves history, it leaves memories, it leaves things. So there's so much entailed in companionship. Those are some of the things we talked about. I don't know how much detail we went into. One thing we also don't want to do is to rush through and have a whole lot of topics and try to cover everything in one streaming.
Yes.
So we're taking our time to break it down. And I think that is something of value. I do believe that we are giving you value, because once again, people don't know what to expect with home care. Please watch that video. It's on Facebook, Pick Home Care Associates. It's on YouTube, Pick Home Care Associates. It's on my wall. It's on Queen Angelina's wall. And we are trying to put it on different areas, different places that deal with home care, senior care, adult care, and all of that stuff. Our goal is to provide value and help you to make decisions when the time is right. The question is, when is the time right? That's a conversation we'd like to have with you one on one. When is the time right? If mom is in the house alone by themselves and they are in their 70s, 80s, then the time is right. If they are in a facility but you find them in their room by themselves all the time, they don't necessarily go out to interact with the people who live there. Our job is to come and encourage them and to make sure they go to activities. Don't say you tell them. You can tell them all you want. When you walk out that door, you walk out with what you tell them. And sometimes we are in what do we say? We are in denial. We are in denial that when there's a loss of interest, there's a lot of interest. It takes somebody who has that abilities to stir it up in them again and to do it with them so it becomes comfortable and easier until they adjust. So these are some of the things we talked about last week. So you are right. Please watch the video, like us, give us reviews. If we've been in your home before, taking care of your loved one, we want those reviews. Picom Care is new on the scene. We are not new in the business. We are
Mhm.
new. We are not new in caring for seniors. We have a wealth of experience, and I want to give a shout out to Reader, one of our caregivers who has stood with us. She has been consistent. She has been an amazing team player. And I think we need to highlight her on our Facebook pages, on our website. So, Queen, when you have time, I'll send you her picture. And I have some of her clients write something about her so we can put it on our Facebook and our social media and our website. We want to recognize Rita. Thank you for 1 year of standing with us and being with us, and more importantly, loving our seniors out there. Thank you, Rita, and God bless you. Keep soaring.
Yeah.
Thank you. So please,
Yes.
what's the next topic for today?
I
Um,
think we should go with respite.
Respite care.
I think so, yes.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Respite care. So, what is respite, woman?
So, when you're looking at respite care, you're looking at, I'm sorry, I was trying to post that comment. When you're looking at respite care, we're talking about a brief situation where someone needs care. So, like Queen Edith said, if someone, if my family is going on vacation and I am the primary caregiver for my loved one, and they are unable to attend or whatnot, what do I do? So respite gives the opportunity for someone to short come in short term to meet a need short term. Um, this can apply even when there is a caregiver burnout, which is something that we do not talk about a lot. Um, but it's a real thing. Excuse me, I'm writing this down. If you see me looking down, I'm either writing or I'm trying to keep up on social media and engage appropriately. So I am paying attention. Um, but yes, when there is a break needed, a lot of facilities will allow you to bring your loved one in. A lot of facilities have the space. Some of them will have rooms set aside just for respite care. And I don't mean it's not a lot of rooms. You might have one or two rooms that may be available for situations like that. With
Queen,
emergencies.
get
Yeah.
in, before you get into that, I need to draw your attention to something very important you said, and so that we can break it down well.
Mhm.
You mentioned caregiver burnout. You mentioned caregiver burnout. The main reason for respite care is to give a break to the caregiver. Now, please, from your estimation and knowledge, tell us what caregiver burnout is and why it's important that we recognize those things and bring in the help we need. If you can start, I can come in and support.
Oh, absolutely. So with caregiver burnout, of course, it is when you are the caregiver, and it's usually the primary caregiver, but it does not always have to be. Okay. Even when you have someone, say you have a system where, say, if Edith and I were taking care of our mother, okay, and she's the primary caregiver, our mother lives with her, but I come across town to help do grocery shopping, run errands, here and there, I can still experience caregiver burnout. Although Edith is doing most of the care in homes. Does that make sense? But it's usually with the primary caregivers. When you experience caregiver burnout, it's where you're not taking care of yourself. Okay. And we have to learn that we have to take care of self properly in order to properly take care of others. And the less that we understand and apply that, the more susceptible we can be to caregiver burnout. That is where, you're going. You're not drinking enough water. You're not eating appropriately. You're not sleeping well. You're frustrated. Caregiver burnout causes frustration. It causes agitation. It can cause fatigue. It can cause unintentional abusive behaviors, if you will. Things like snapping at your loved one, being short with your, just things like that. Doesn't mean necessarily aggressive abuse, but your short temper, your responses, the environment you create can become, in a sense, abusive energy. So those are things that we want to pay attention to, and that's why again, respite is an amazing option um, for caregivers. Like I was saying, it's facilities do it all the time, but it's awesome when you can have someone come into your house so that you don't
Yeah.
have to move your loved one out of that out of their environment. If at all possible. So I'll let you. But did I answer your question?
You did a great job, Queen. You did a great job explaining caregiver burnout. And when we talk about caregiver, we are not talking about those of us professionals necessarily who come out there and do the work. And but it applies to us as well. She explained really well that family. We're talking about family. Mom lives with you, or mom may not live with you, but you live closest. You are the primary person responsible for her well being and ensuring that she has what she needs. Queen, you mentioned something very, very important. Once again, you keep throwing these things out there. You don't even realize that this is what you're doing, but I'm catching on to it. You mentioned environment you create. Environment nurtures growth or the opposite. Environment nurtures peace and well-being or the opposite. When
Mhm.
you are the fact that you are the caregiver for your mom or the primary caregiver for your dad does not mean that you do not have other responsibilities as well. Many
Mhm.
of us have jobs, jobs, or many of us are running businesses. Many of us have responsibilities. We have a family, we have husband, we have wife, we have children. We have all these responsibilities on top of caring for mom or caring for dad. Life in this season is pulling us in so many directions. You have your personal stuff as well. Because you are a person, right? You are an individual, you are a person, you are a system. When you come to the world of counseling, every individual is a system and is also part of a bigger system. So there's something you need to take care of you. And sometimes we operate out of guilt rather than out of love, because you are guilty if you can't do what you promised mom or dad you will do for them. You're working, you are loving, you're doing everything for mom, but within you and the environment you're creating that you're living in, and your mom or dad is sensing your agitation, sensing your frustration, sensing your pain. They can sense it, even though you're putting your a good face out there. You're putting out that good face. They're sensing there's something wrong. Remember, they birthed you. They gave birth to you. They raised you. They know you. So though you're trying as much to hide it, they're sensing it. They're feeling it, and they're feeling responsible.
Mhm.
So they're saying, "Oh, come on, Angelina, please, I'm okay. I can handle it. You don't have to do that. Go take care of your children. Go take care of your home." They're saying that because they're sensing that they're becoming a burden to you. And that is not what you intend. You have no such intention. But the strings of life is pulling you. Your job is pulling you. Your business is pulling you. Your children are pulling you. Your marriage is pulling you. Your personal finances are pulling you. Things are tagging at you, and it's bothersome. And you need a break. That is where respite care comes in. Don't operate. Listen, if you are the pillar that holds all these systems together, know that when you break down, you bring a lot down. And that's not what you want. When you break down, who's going to take care of mom and dad? Some of us are only children. Your children, which is their grandchildren, are out there living their lives. When you break down, who's going to step in? Whom have you trained? Whom have you learned to depend on sometimes? Who in your circle, even in the home care agency circle, do you know that will have your back in those times? Don't wait till the last minute. That is where respite care comes in. Queen, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, you said it. um, I mean, yeah, I think that pretty much it does sum up respite. Um, it does sum up respite. And again, last week we talked about being proactive in a sense where even when just make sure to be proactive and not reactive. So, in the sense, in the case, in the incident that something occurs, you want to make sure that you have a list of plans. Um, you have a list of options, whether they're facilities, whether they're home care agencies. Have a list of plans and options. When as a caregiver, things happen. You have falls. You have change of events when it comes to the health status of someone. So make sure that you have proper arrangements in place. Again, one reason why we're having this conversation with you, if you are in the Indianapolis, Noblesville kind of area, the surrounding area, definitely keep us in mind in the event that you need such services. And by all means, you are more than welcome and free to do comparisons and have a list. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. Facilities have lists. You want to be able to have options when you need them. You know, and not feel like you're pushed against the wall, especially when it comes to facilities. So make sure you do your due diligence as far as an advocate, a caregiving advocate for your loved one, and make sure that you just kind of have things in a row. Just a side note, power of attorneys are important. Those kind of documentations are important to have. Just a little side note for you all, as we're talking about caregiver burnout and stress, you need to know where the paperwork is. How many of us don't have conversations with our senior loved ones and know about end of life plans, right? How many of us don't know where to find paperwork? How many of us don't know what the financial status is of our loved ones if they need home care or respite or facility care? You need to have these conversations with your loved ones. And they're not fun conversations because we're talking about getting older, and it's a mirrored conversation, right? We're all getting older, right? But as we get older, we want to make sure that we are becoming wiser. And we do that by knowledge, sharing knowledge, gathering knowledge, sharing knowledge, which is what we're doing here with you. And we want to encourage you to do that with your loved ones. If you're in a marriage and you're taking care of in-laws, however that's working, you're taking care of parents in a marriage, have conversations about your finances, about how to take care of your loved one together. Though that's very, very important. If it's my mother, my husband and I are going to have a conversation about the best way to do that for all of us. So, and it's not just my conversation and what I say goes because it's my mother. It's a conversation to be had. And I'm saying all this in regards to avoiding caregiver burnout. Um, and we certainly don't want you to have to need our services. We want you to be independent. We want you to be as lively as you can. I saw a 104-year-old on the news the other day, and she went skydiving. I've never been skydiving, so we don't want to rush you into feeling like we are taking your independence, but we do want to encourage you and let you know that we are here, and just be mindful of what's going on as life changes, right? Just be mindful. And in the event that you do need such care, we do want to be your number one choice for sure. So, yes, that's what I'll say to that.
Thank you, Queen. Those are important factors that many don't consider when it comes to caregiving and burnouts, but yes, having your ducks in a row, knowing where documents are and who to contact for what is they are all things that cause stress. I don't know where dad put that, and I don't know where mom did that, mama, and mom doesn't remember, and dad doesn't remember. Those things all factor in to your burnout. And so it means getting organized, planning ahead, having the list, asking the right questions in the season, and all of that. And they are not easy things to talk about. They really are not, but they are necessary. They are very necessary. I want to also take it to, you talk about needing help, and hopefully they don't need us. But one thing about home care and coming back to respite care is developing the relationships when you
Hmm.
don't necessarily need them. Okay, so having someone come spend the day with mom whilst you go shopping, developing that relationship with the agency, the caregiver, the coming, getting to know them,
Hmm.
giving you the time, the chance to take the time to watch them and getting to know them. And I want to say, and maybe I'm biased, but it's not just about big names. It's not just about big names. There are a lot of big names out there who have done this, and they're great at it. They're great at marketing. They're great at, getting you hooked. But you find out that it's not all what they say it is. And so don't look for big names and all these things and end there. Do due diligence. Do due diligence. A lot of big names, their bottom line is the money. But
Hmm.
there are big names also who truly care, who truly have the heart to care. It goes the other way. There's smaller names, new, coming up in the market, who are a force to be reckoned with because they have the heart for the mom and the dad. Okay, they may not have the names and the titles and all, but they have the heart. And sometimes, a lot of the time, the heart matters. And of course, the know how. And
Hmm.
having the systems in place also to support your system that you have at home. They all matter. So take a lot into consideration before you make the decision. But the key point is start developing the relationship. And I'm thankful for some of the clients we have who don't necessarily need us. You go in, spend a few hours a day, do little things. They don't need bathing. They know they'll need toileting. They don't need all of those things. But they get us to come into their homes to spend time. We go shopping, we talk, we cook. Mom does not feel alone. Dad does not feel alone. We do fun stuff. We go to Hobby Lobby, we buy crafts, we learn new things. The hand cannot do certain things, so we figure out other ways of doing things. Talk about a movie, talk about what is going on around us. There's a lot to do. Crafts, learn a new thing, learning a new thing together. There's a lot to do out there. So let's not despise the beginnings of these relationships. By the time you desperately need it, you know. You know who you will call because you've already established relationships. One thing in our season, in this time of life, is we wait to the last minute.
Mhm.
It's not worth it. It's not worth the hassle. Stress comes with its own health challenges. And
Mhm.
the only reason, many times, the main reason we feel stressed is because we are unprepared. We become very unprepared. Learn to break down mom's resistance gently by saying, Mom or Dad, I need to go and do this. Edith will come and spend just 3 hours of the day with you. She's not spending all day, and she's not coming here to impose on you. She's going to be here with you. If there's something you want to do with her, you do it. She's not here to take away your independence. These conversations, we need to learn to break the resistance. It frees you. It gives
Mhm.
you a chance to take care of you. So every time you come around, mom comes around you, you are in a healthier place. You are in a better environment, and you can enjoy each other in that environment, in that company. It is so important. I've watched families stress over dad, stress over mom because they're at a loss. Everybody is telling them something. They all make sense, yet they are not. It is not helping mom and it is not helping dad. So I'm grateful for the families who have let us in when they don't necessarily need us, but they are developing the relationship and creating space for the day that they actually need all that we have to offer.
Mhm.
This is very important, families.
Yes, and you know what? Let me clarify this. I just want to tell you all, and I agree with Queen Edith. When I say, don't need us, I'm talking about those 104-year-olds that are jumping at the airplanes. Okay. So that's what I'm speaking of. I don't want to rush you all because you're 104, and that's what I'm speaking of. So no, do not wait until the last minute. I'm speaking of them types. So for the
You are
record.
so
And,
serious.
and you
And I
know what
love
though?
you. I love
Um, you know, back to like the ducks in a row when I was talking about being prepared, we were talking about being prepared earlier. Um, and having those conversations. It's important too. I know I mentioned finances. That is important as well because a lot of people don't think that they can add home care into their budget. Okay. I am here to tell you that you can. I would love to help you. I've talked to a handful of people here recently doing my own research and sharing how you can write some of these expenses off on your taxes as a caregiver. And we would love to help you do that. We can have that conversation later. But anyhow, my point to that is having these conversations. You can know where finances are. You can know if there's VA benefits, right? To support paying for home care. If there's long-term care insurance that'll pay for that. If your insurance, their insurance, excuse me, will cover that. Just different things, different options that you have. Is another reason why I mentioned having those conversations, because you don't want your loved one to miss out on services that are needed because of fear of um, financial strain. So make sure you have those conversations with your loved ones. And I know these are our parents, and we don't want to get in their business, and they certainly don't want us in their business, especially when it comes to finances. Especially if a lot of us think that things are one way and they're another financially, because we don't know what's going on. We think mom has all this money from when dad passed away, and you don't know that fixed income is a pickle every month. There is no extra pension because of XYZ. You don't have those conversations. You don't know. You don't know that dad took out a second mortgage or a third mortgage on this house before he passed away, and the house is really not paid off. Have those conversations. And like I said, it'll make it so much more pleasant when you're making decisions for on behalf of your loved one's care. Okay. It won't be so stressful. Making sure you can make those ends connect, right? So just think about those things with that, and I'll stop talking.
Why would you stop talking? You're giving very valuable information.
Thank you, because I can keep going. So
I think you should. Let's talk about the fact that people are living longer and the anxiety of money, whatever money they have, not stretching. Because I know that these are the things you do. How do we make these money stretch? And that can take us into the different kinds of cares, the difference between 24-hour care
mhm.
and live-in care. What time is it? We don't have a lot of time. I think that we should just continue on this respite and mark for 24-hour care and compare to live-in care.
That'll be a good conversation next weekend.
Yeah, next
That'll be
week,
really good.
back and living care, the cost differences, 24 hour
Hmm.
care, living care, and the fact that many, you see, people, women, or from parents in their 80s, 90s, their children are in their 60s, so they're not spring chicken. They are also baby boomers, right? So getting ready to go into that age, so they are not kids anymore. So they themselves may have their own challenges, health wise as well, or ability wise, things they can and they cannot do anymore. And so taking on caring for mom as much as they love to and they want to, they're struggling. In fact, I've come across families where the mom, the mother, the older mother is healthier than their children. And unfortunately, they
Hmm.
have had to, the parent has had to be the one becoming the primary or caregiver for their children. I kid you not, I have seen it. I've
Hmm.
been to a home where the daughter is so ill and is so huge they can barely move, and mom is healthy and going. Mom is in her 80s, 70s, but she's had to. The daughter or the son has had to depend on mom. There's so many things going on out there, and so it's necessary that we bring these things to your knowledge. How do you handle a situation where mom, 80-year-old mom, really is being responsible for 60-year-old daughter or son, dad for son? Some children are mentally handicapped, were born with them, they have developmental challenges. um so mom continues, dad continue to feel that responsibility. How do we handle that? What do we do? They also live with the guilt of not being able to take care of them. Mom in this case need respite care as well. So if there are other siblings who are living their lives, consider that mom, dad need that break while they themselves are getting to a point where they need also to be helped more than previously. So respite care is important. Respite care is very important. All things being said, if all is well with you, then take that vacation with your husband, with your wife. Go away and not have to think and worry and enjoy this gift of life. It's good for your health. Vacations are no more a luxury, my dear, right? I'll let you talk.
Yeah. Oh. I was gonna say you did mention um, developmental disabilities, right? Parents that are dealing with that are supporting individuals with developmental disabilities, even adults. I know someone that has a developmentally challenged son, and he will always need care, and he actually he bought a condo for his son. And so, if something were to happen to him, he would have that condo. But he's not able to function on his own. He will never be able to function on his own. He's in his 30s, you know. He'll never be able to function on his own. So what do you do with that? And I'm going to leave it at that, because next week we're going to talk about 24-hour and living care, because we do, not only do we at Peak Home Care Associates specialize in compassionate senior care, we also provide services for individuals that are living with developmental disabilities. Okay, and we don't talk about that a lot. We haven't talked about that a lot on the broadcast, but we do offer services there also, and we'll dive into that. I just wanted to mention that we do offer that, and I would love to dive in next week. Just something with that as far as 24-hour care versus living care, and what that looks like for individuals. But even just having a break, as far as respite with those kind of situations, can be a real godsend, you know. So if you or someone is needing that break, that respite break, or any sort of home care services for your loved one with developmental disabilities or abilities, we would love to connect with you on that level too. So, yeah, so leave that there.
Well, all too soon, our time is almost coming to an end. One thing we never said was that we are not doctors. We are not your primary physicians. We are not your primary, healthcare professionals. Whatever you do, talk to them first. Don't take our advice over theirs. We are talking from
Yes.
our experiences
We are
with
not giving you medical advice. First of all, we're not giving you medical advice. I'm gonna give you that disclaimer now.
Gray.
Go ahead, Queen.
Thank you. So, yes, definitely we are not giving you medical advice. Talk to your medical professionals. Yeah, we are coming to you from our experiences, things we've seen doing this work over the years. So that's important. The second thing I want to say is that our time is almost up. Our main goal for this particular conversation, this particular stream, is respite care is important. I don't care how healthy you are. If you want to keep being healthy, then you need to keep making sure that you are doing what it takes to be there wholly, to be there wholly for the loved one you care so much about. In neglecting to take care of yourself, you create an unhealthy environment because it will catch up with your attitude, with your language, with everything you do, and you will end up creating an unhealthy environment for yourself, your husband, your wife, your children, your mom, and your dad. So in order to be whole, total, body, soul, spirit together, and be the best of you, don't neglect to take care of yourself. And one way to do it is to take a break from the things that break you for short period. And one of the ways to take a break of a senior, of a developmentally challenged individual, then get respite care with a home care agency. We hope it will be us. We hope it
Yes.
will be us. Get help so you will be able to live a wholesome life and be fruitful and be effective in the care of the others that are in your care. Queen, I'll let
Well
you.
balanced. Well balanced. Be well
Thank you.
balanced. Mhm.
Well balanced.
Yes.
I'll let you conclude this broadcast.
I thought you were doing great. I didn't mean to
Okay.
interrupt.
We are Pecom Care Associates. We are located in Noblesville, Indiana. Our phone numbers are at the bottom of the screen. Our email is at the bottom of the screen. We service Indianapolis and its surrounding cities. We
Yes,
would love to hear from you. And if you like this broadcast, please like, share, and subscribe so that when we come live, you will know.
absolutely. Absolutely. I want to say one more thing. I love your background. It gives me so much positive energy when we get on here. I just want to tell you that. I
Oh,
love it. I love it. It sets the tone. And just so you all know, mine looks like not fun, but this is actually my grandmother's painting. So it doesn't look fun, but it's always in the light, in the broadcast, because that's important to me. But your background is so inviting. So I hope you all felt like you were invited to join in with us. I hope you felt at home with us. If you have questions, like Queen Eva just said, email us. Drop us a line, connect with us. You can DM us or whatever all that good jazz is. Connect with us though. We want to hear from you. If there's topics that you want us to talk about, let us know. We are looking forward to having different voices on here, different faces of healthcare on here. We would love to connect with you and grow with you and be of service to you if we can. Of course, Queen Edith again. Like I said last week, she's in the community. She's on her way to do Bible study. They're one of the facilities. I'm always serving, always serving. So I'm headed down to the community, do some community work myself, but she's serving the senior community today. So we're super excited about what we have going on, and we want to share that with you, and we want to be a part of your lives in a positive way. So thank you for inviting us into your homes. Please like and share. If you're listening on Facebook, run over to YouTube. Please, please help us with that algorithm at Peak Home Care Associates so we can grow and help those that need our help. If you're on YouTube, do the same with Facebook. Going over to Facebook. So we appreciate your time, your support, your love. And we do notice that people go back and listen later. We want to say that we see you. We get excited. We have conversations about it. So we are not. We see you even in the latter, and we thank you so much for letting us come to you and share what we have. So that is all.
next week, we'd like to hear about your grandma and that painting.
My whole house is my grandma's house anymore, but sure, we can do that.
Awesome. Thank you.
All
Thank you for
right. Thank you,
having a
Queen. Yes. Yes. All right. You all take care. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Let's see. Hang on. We appreciate the feedback. I'll throw that up there just a second. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. It won't let me put it up there. So
Oh,
until
now
next time, did you get
thank
it, Quinn?
I'm looking at it from the Facebook page, and it's now Odale. She said, "Thanks for sharing this info."
Yes. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being on. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in today. I'm going to get off of here so we can get some stuff done, so you all can get some stuff done. But thank you so much for your time. Until next week, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. But we are on replay. Till then, you all take care. We love you and be blessed.
Queen, 1 minute. Don't forget to turn back your clocks and the clocks of your parent. Is it pushing it forward? We're springing forward, right? No, no, we're falling back.
We are falling back.
We are falling back. Don't forget to turn your clocks midnight before you go to bed tonight. Don't forget it. Do it for yourself and do for your
I
parents.
know. Trats, it's that time of year. You all, that's another. You all get some sleep. Make sure you all get some sleep. Caregivers, get some sleep. I'm serious. That daylight savings time will throw you off. I know it throws me off every single year. Make sure you are taking care of yourselves. Seriously, take care of yourselves. The next month or so. Drink plenty of water. Eat well. Rest well. Think about respite if you need it. I might need it now. Darn daylight savings time. I
I can
might be
take
calling you
care
for
of you. You
respite.
can count on me being
Yes, I might call
there.
you for respite. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, you all change your clocks as they're still in time. Anywho, you all have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Until then, take care.
Bye.